because I know everybody is dying to hear how I manifested the first check for $53,000. So I promise you in the end of this video, that is going to be revealed. So stay tuned, or you're also welcome to skip straight to the end if you choose. That's okay, but you're going to miss a lot of other exciting manifestations and stories. And I really want to start today's episode with one of my favorite authors. I do want to include different books that really helped me along my journey. And this was one of the first ones, Leveraging the Magic of the Universe by Mike Dooley. The book, I believe, starts out with a line, "Everything I touch turns to gold." And I read this book about 3 years ago, right before I moved to Hawaii, maybe 3.5. And I was in a pretty rough mental health state at the time, really struggling with my career and purpose and what I wanted to be doing in my life. And this was kind of like an intro to spirituality. So I'm proposing that book because I think a lot of my followers at this point are friends of mine that aren't as deep in the weeds with this 5D spirit realm, expanded consciousness to the degree that I've really dove in, because I have dedicated my life to that right now. And that's totally fine. And I feel very strongly that I am somebody who is a bridge between people who feel the way I did before, that feel very stuck and like they're kind of the victim, or they can't make changes and they're stuck in the way that they were. Because believe me, I was there. I thought I was stuck in this soul-sucking career for forever because I was making a certain amount of money. I had a reputation there. I had great status, caliber, connections, network, all the things. And I truly thought I was stuck in this career that I was never going to get out of. Even though it wasn't a bad career, it was a lucrative career, but it wasn't what my soul wanted to be doing. It wasn't something that I felt fulfilled by. I actually felt very, very drained by what I was doing. So that being said, I am here to share a lot of the nuances along the way and how I shifted out of one reality into this dream life that I'm living right now. It's dark out because it's night, but one of my next recordings I'm going to record with the view in the background because it is so special to me. It's a home that I manifested with an ocean view in Honolulu, and it is literally a dream beyond my wildest dreams. So starting off first with Mike Dooley, I highly recommend that book, Leveraging the Magic of the Universe. The big premise of that book is your thoughts become things. And I never believed that to be the case until about 3 years ago. I was very much living in you work for what you get, you work hard, you go to your job. This is just like the things that you're taught a lot of times in the East Coast and in this modern day society and in the Western world that we live in. I think a lot of my followers are from the US, but Europe, other places. I've learned a lot through merging life lessons with yoga and the Eastern world and how they are. And I'm going to share bits and pieces of that journey as well. But your thoughts become things. That is one of the biggest quotes. If I can beat that into your head more and more and more, I truly believe it. The more I think positive, the more magic happens around me. And I can even see times in the past, and I'll have a whole episode on this, where I was drawing in so much negative energy by complaining, by living in stress, by living in this fight or flight mode, even though there was no reason to be. I was just wired that way to overachieve and be in overdrive. And that caused a lot of, mental and physical health issues. And it was drawing a lot of negative circumstances to me. I didn't realize how much my words, my thoughts, my energy carried weight at that time. So we'll have a whole episode on that another day. But your thoughts become things. And I just can't say it enough. It's very, very simple. But if you haven't grasped that concept yet, just let it sink in, write it down, think about it. Think about what you think and then what you see around you. Notice how when you're thinking about something a lot, say, for example, when you get a new car. So I drive an Alfa Romeo Stelvio. It's royal blue. It's very rare. Most people don't even know what that vehicle is. It's my baby. I call her the Aloha Alpha. Anyway, when I first bought that car, of course, I had never seen them on the road before. And then I purchased one and now I see them everywhere. And is it my thoughts creating my reality, or is it that I'm just noticing? Either way, I think it's something to think about if you haven't thought about it before. So I'm just offering that, and I'm offering that book. I'll drop you the link in here for that. And then the follow-up to that, another book that I absolutely love by Mike Dooley is called The Complete Notes from the Universe. And this is just a great little coffee table book where you can pop it open to any page. It's literally just like a paragraph or one page that you read. It's got really positive, kind of some silly little messages from the universe. And when I first started reading this book, I assure you, I did not believe most of the things that were in here. I thought they were all kind of crazy and kooky. Now that I am living in this alternate reality of magic and rainbows and butterflies literally every day, I can see how my thoughts, as he says, have created this dream life. So I'm going to just read you one quick passage and my thoughts on it. Thoughts, it doesn't matter what my thoughts are, it matters what your own thoughts are. But I just love this one. Want to know what's better than having it all? Way, way, way better. Not having it all, but knowing of its inevitability in a never-ending adventure that's barely just begun. Yeehaw! Kind of like Friday just before the weekend. So I think it's perfect because it is Friday just before the weekend, but for the first time in most of my life, I am not living for the weekend only, because my everyday is what I dream to be doing. My career, even this weekend, I'm working. And I put that in quotes because it is work and it is my career. But the work I'm doing now is so fun and fulfilling that it doesn't even feel like work. So tomorrow I'm teaching yoga at this amazing wellness event here in Honolulu. And then Sunday I'm taking people on a hiking tour. So it barely even counts as work. But that being said, I just think that little message is so true. When you believe something to happen, you have that excitement like it's the day before Christmas morning. When you just know that your dreams are coming true, you live every day with that enthusiasm, and that helps draw more of these nuances and little surprises and magic into you. So I'll drop the link also for this book because, again, I want to share resources since my book isn't written yet, and that's something I worked on a lot today, and I'm really, really excited to share that by early next year. I want to provide other books, other podcasts, other songs, other practices. So daily gratitude practice, I talked a lot about, and the magic in my first episode of this manifesting series, and now 2 Mike Dooley books in this second episode where I'm sharing the magic of the universe. And thank you, Mike Dooley, for sharing that with us. So I'm going to talk just real quick about a couple other little manifestations that have happened since I've been back from the Dr. Joe retreat. Surprise little silly things. This is just going to be a quick, fun, playful episode. I'll do the big reveal about how I got the first check for $53,000. Once I have more followers, I will do a reveal for how I got the second check for $53,000. But again, that one is personal. I want to build a little trust. I want people to know who I am first. And I'm going to save that for when I have a lot more viewership, because it's just a big, deep story, and it's going to make more sense when I'm able to share a little bit more of myself over the course of these next videos, over the upcoming weeks, months, years, whatever that may be. So a couple fun little manifestations and things I was meditating and surprise synchronicities that came into my life since I got back from the Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat, which was July of this year, 2025. I was in Denver for 2 weeks. I came back. I was high on life. I, found my soul tribe. I'll talk even more deeply about that retreat and the details of it. I'm actually going to be signing up for his San Diego retreat coming up here in December because it was so magical. But for now, let's just focus on a few fun little things. So I wrote these down so I wouldn't forget. One that I thought was amazing, about a week after I got back from the Dr. Joe retreat, I'm in this high vibe. I'm meditating every day for at least 1 to 2 hours. I trust the universe. I trust knowing there's going to be synchronicities and surprises coming my way. So I was at this wellness event with my friend, and he was supposed to pick me up coconut waters from Costco for about a year now. He kept saying he was going to do it, and he kept forgetting. And that's fine. It's like a silly little thing that he said he would do because it's a lot cheaper. And for those of you who aren't in Hawaii, Hawaii is very, very, very expensive. So at this point, I just don't even care. I know the universe is going to provide because this is the place that I'm meant to be and this is where I'm the happiest. And the unseen realms have the teams out there. They have provided for me in endless ways already, whether it be financially, friends, abundance, gifts, free rent, just so much cool stuff over the last few years. And I know it's because I'm meant to be in Hawaii and now my soul is shining and I'm sharing more of myself. But anyway, back to the coconut water. So my friend hadn't picked it up for me. I was like, please, please, please get it for me. And he's like, yeah, I will. So I kid you not, the next day I go down to the concierge in my building to pick up an Amazon package that I had ordered. And I open it up downstairs and there's, I forgot what I ordered, maybe like a phone charger cord or something, and a notebook. And then the third thing was a case of coconut water. And I was like all in the same Amazon box. And I was just like, I don't remember ordering this. And I say that to my friend, this concierge guy that works downstairs, who's my bro. He's cool. And I was like, I didn't order this coconut water. And he was like, oh, are you sure? Maybe you did like subscribe and save. Have you ordered it before? And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I've ordered it maybe 6 or 8 months ago. Maybe I did do subscribe and save, but silly. I don't ever do that. Why would I have done that? So, you like my little unicorn guy, by the way? I go upstairs to check if I ordered this coconut water by accident and had done subscribe and save and forgot it was coming. And I go on my computer, look it up, and no, I had not ordered the coconut water. So, looked at my Amazon orders. Literally the last time an order for that was placed was over 6 months ago. I know that the universe sent that to me because I'm in this field where I'm drawing in things and I've been meditating regularly. I've been trusting. I've been telling them to show me the magic, divine, show me in examples in my life. And it's just like a fun little thing where I went back down there to pick up some mail the next day and I saw that same concierge guy and I was like, dude, I did not order that coconut water. He was like, what? Where did it come from then? And I was like, I don't know, the universe and my meditation. So that was a really fun one. And again, not even something I was really trying to channel, but it was something that I wanted that I didn't order that got delivered right to my doorstep. So a beautiful example of that. Another meditation that I have really liked, there's a couple of Dr. Joe's when I don't have a lot of time. If I'm like working an early yoga event or a tour or something, I'll just do a 15 to 20, 30 minute meditation of his. I prefer to do an hour because it really lets me drop myself, go into the quantum, get into the void, and, kind of become one with the frequency of creation and then tune into what I want. I really feel strongly that an hour is best for that. But nonetheless, if I can't, I love to at least do a 15-minute meditation. So I was doing a meditation about a week or two ago on generating joy in your life. And again, it was only 15 minutes long, so it was quick, but I woke up a little bit moody and I was going to be around people. So I just wanted to bring that joy, bring that abundance, bring that vibe and energy into my life. So I did this 15-minute meditation and it felt really good. I was happy. And I went on a long hike with friends. And that night when I came home and checked my packages, once again, I go down to the concierge to pick up my package. I actually brought it upstairs this time to open it. And it was a shirt that I ordered. And I was expecting that shirt, which is why I went to the mailroom to pick up my package. And it was a cute little tank top. And inside the package were bonus goodies that I didn't order, that I had no idea were going to arrive. And one was like a headband, one was a little sports bra. I think one was like a piece of candy or something. I don't even remember, but I'm just opening it and there's all these extra goodies that I wasn't anticipating or expecting or didn't order. And I kid you not, there were 2 little Tazo tea bags in the package. And one of them, the flavor was joy. Like, what? Who even knows that joy is a flavor of tea? Literally, that was the flavor. And this came about 7 hours after I did a meditation on generating joy. And again, something I didn't order that was actually in my meditation and in my mind that I was drawing to myself. And look how the universe delivered that in a joy tea. Like, what a surprise. Okay, so then the third one I'm going to share, which is also, I mean, it's much bigger than these two little packages. And whenever I tell my friends these stories, they're like, how do you keep doing this? Which is why I'm sharing it more, because if I only share to my friends, I'm telling the same stories over and over again, and then I'm not able to help inspire other people. And the big thing that happened this week was right after I launched my YouTube video for manifesting this series I decided to start. The universe gave me this idea. And again, these videos are unedited because I just want them to be real, raw, authentic, show me, how I am and how I think and how I feel and how this stuff is coming to me. And because some of it's even a surprise to me. So none of this needs to be any fancy edits, right? But anyway, on Monday, I posted that video that I had recorded a few days prior on this check for how I manifested $53,000 last year. I kid you not, about 24 hours, less than 24 hours after I posted that video, Dr. Joe Dispenza posted on his YouTube my manifesting my Ms. Hawaii story under his stories of transformation. Mind you, I got this idea to do this YouTube channel. Whether this stays as YouTube or a podcast, I'm still not sure yet, but I'm open to whatever happens. Maybe this gets tapped in with somebody bigger who I work with. I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, I felt very, very strongly that I had this call to speak and share more of what I'm doing. Because again, I know I've reached a lot of people locally. I've reached a lot of my friends, but also I can't talk to a lot of my friends on the East Coast as often because of their work schedules and because of the time difference. And then I have people in Bali and all over the world. So why not do this where people can tune in whenever they want? And then a lot of my friends who are life coaches have told me that they've since shared a lot of these stories with their clients. So this gives them the opportunity to just show an ordinary person who believes in magic and has been able to create that for herself. So that being said, I find it no coincidence that Dr. Joe posted his story about me serving as an inspiration and using his meditations to win the Ms. Hawaii crown, which I'm going to do a whole episode on that, how I got involved in pageantry, what it entailed, what I expected versus what I got, more that's come out of it, how I use my energy work and spiritual coaches and different things to help create the experience of me winning Ms. Hawaii. Of course, on the Dr. Joe short, it's only like a 4-minute thing where I had to get straight to the point. And I shared a little bit about the Ms. Hawaii journey, and I'll post the link for that down here as well that you can click on and watch it. But the cool, amazing, beautiful part of this is now I am exposed to millions of his followers around the world. And this is truly my soul mission and purpose that I discovered this year, is that I want to share my story of transformation from chaos to clarity to inspire and empower other people to do the same thing. Because I lived in this, again, very, very stressed out, intense environment for so long. And I believed in myself, but I didn't believe in the universe. And once I made that shift and I learned how to tap into the frequency of all that is and my true power when I'm connected to source, so much more has come into me. So many blessings, so many amazing things. And I'm so, so, so grateful. So it really is my goal to share this work and even Dr. Joe's work with more people. That's going to be my pageant platform for Ms. USA next year. But I was also meditating on being on stage with Dr. Joe one day. And then shortly after I was meditating on that, he shared my story on his live stream that I had done in the interview in Denver. And I had no idea that was coming. I had no idea that was happening. And then I also had no idea that on Tuesday, he would be posting on his stories of transformation my Ms. Hawaii journey. And it's been such reinforcing positive feedback of people saying they want to hear more fun, happy, positive, inspiring stories, because yes, his work can be applied to healing. And actually there's a lot of things he helped me heal. And I'll talk about that in another episode. But I don't want to say more importantly, but additionally, it's not just for healing. It can be applied to manifesting and creating the life of your dreams, whether that's financial wealth, a new career, coconut water, joy, like fun, silly things. And I have just all these cool stories that are coming to me. So I'm writing down all these synchronicities so that I can share them moving forward. I'm writing down all the books. As I'm working on writing my own book, I'm getting more ideas of what to share on the videos. So these are kind of teasers for the longer and my fuller story that will be in my book next year. So if you like all of this, stay tuned, subscribe, follow, comment, tell me what you want to hear more of, what advice you need. If there are things you'd rather hear more about, books, you'd rather hear more about my everyday, you'd rather hear about specific manifestations. If you have any advice, I am more than happy to share. I already went back and forth on a lot of the comments, kind of responding to some people that showed me some love and gratitude for sharing my story on Dr. Joe's page, but that's his page and I don't want to bombard that, and that's not a place for me to be marketing myself. That's his work. And while that is very interconnected to who I am and what I'm doing, and I believe we are sort of in this partnership from the way we connected and how well my story aligns, again, that's his page. So I'm going to use my page and my story to interact with my followers and my community and just anybody who wants to learn more, who wants to learn how to meditate. Again, I couldn't meditate for more than 5 minutes a year and a half ago. Now I'm doing 5 hours at a time. There are so many changes and shifts that I've made, and I owe it to Dr. Joe, these different books, my yoga teachers, my spirit coach, my own self, my own soul, Hawaii for helping me tap in. So it's all been really beautiful. And what I'm getting at with sharing the fact that he posted me right after, I feel, and I know in my heart of hearts, I feel very strongly that, again, there are no coincidences in life. Everything happens for a reason. The fact that I posted that YouTube and then I was exposed to millions of people around the world and this viewership and kind of this collective community where this work is valued, it just goes to show you that like my intuition was right. And again, I'm so grateful. I really, really am. So without further ado, I know why you guys have all tuned in to this YouTube today. Besides wanting to hear about my books and my silly little adventures, how and where did the $53,000 check come from? I had a friend who was actually asking me the other day at dinner. He's like, oh yeah, I saw you posted this video, but can you just give me the Cliff Notes version? And I was like, dude, that literally is the Cliff Notes version. It's 30 minutes of taking all the self-help books that I've read over the last 10 years, the 400 plus hours of yoga training that I have done, the life experiences, the 50 plus hours of meditations with Dr. Joe, the podcast I listened to, just everything, and putting it in a 30-minute condensed video of what worked for me and sharing the magic and sharing the gifts. I'm like, how much lazier can you get? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I love you. I wish I could just put it into 2 sentences, but if this were a 2-sentence thing, every single person would be living the life of their dreams. And as much as I would love for everybody to, and I believe that it's possible, it doesn't happen by happenstance or listening to a 2-minute video. It takes work, it takes diligence, it takes time, it takes perseverance, it takes your own life lessons, it takes contemplation on what you hear, right? Maybe something I say in this video later comes up in your week or your meditation, and then feel free to drop a comment down here and I'll respond. I really want to engage and interact and know how I can help. But what I do know is that I can't just drop eons of wisdom that I've acquired from the last 10, 20 years, plus my soul's eternal, stories and past lives. I know that I can't drop all of that wisdom in 2 minutes or 2 sentences. If I could, I would. I promise I would. But I don't want to waste anybody's time. I'm realistic, and it does take work. It does take unlearning and relearning how to tap into these things. So again, without further ado, the $53,000 check, the person that called me when I was in Bali saying that I was getting a check for $53,000 was my attorney from a car accident case that I had about 5 years prior. I was in a pretty bad accident where I got rear-ended by a dump truck back when I was living in Tampa. And my car was totaled. It was a pretty new car at the time, like a year and a half old. I was devastated. And this is one of the negative things that I had drawn into my life at the time that I said I will share in a later story about some of the ways I know I was on the wrong frequency, and I knew it was time to make changes in my life back then. But that was tough when that happened. And I was very shaken up at the time. And when the cops came and took the story and wrote the report, of course, I was like, that was my first and only car accident, and it was big and it was bad, and my car was wrecked and undrivable, and I was upset and frantic, and nervous system was a mess. So I don't know that I articulated my statement as good as I could. And also it's a long story, but there was a mattress in the road that I had to avoid and merge into another lane. So I moved, and then like a few seconds later got struck by a dump truck. So there was some controversy from the other insurance company whether or not they owed me money. So that ended up being a battle between the two insurance companies for years. And then I got an attorney, and it was going back and forth, and there was all this controversy. And to be honest, once I moved to Hawaii, I kind of just left that whole situation. I bought a new car, which is the Alpha that I now have that I love. So that was sort of a blessing in disguise. I got my first luxury car after that situation. At the time, I didn't really see it that way, and it was really, really, really hard. I had whiplash. Yeah, there was a whole lot of issues and things going on that made that really difficult, really challenging. But nonetheless, I forgot about that completely. I forgot I was in that car accident. I forgot there was still an open settlement or like lawsuit going on. It was something that at this point, again, non-attachment helps a lot. I just didn't care. I wrote it off. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't even want to be tied to the negativity of that car accident. So I stopped thinking about it. I stopped worrying about it. I basically moved to Hawaii and was like, if it's ever meant to be, money comes to me, great. I was no longer really in contact with my attorney. I don't think I had talked to him in at least 6 months, maybe a year or more. Like we had so little communication. It was just kind of like left in the courts at that point. And if something happened, great. If not, also, I didn't care. It was like my life is so good, and that money just didn't matter to me. So mind you, when I wrote down that thing for $53,000, I forgot that this car accident case even existed. I had no other ideas of where this money was going to come from. Some people will say like, oh, well, of course you had that. I don't have that. Trust me, I would have thought the same thing. I couldn't think of any random investments I had that would cash out, or any big checks, or anybody passing, or anything that would draw this money into me. It was not even on my radar. So now you have the reveal to how I received that first $53,000. I know that I brought that in with that gratitude, because the number was like so dead on, and that's just way too much money to be a coincidence. And it's not. There's no such thing as coincidences. So that check came to me at a time when I was learning to surrender. I was, really fulfilling my soul's purpose here and learning to release a lot of anxiety and old stories and patterns in my yoga training. I know that's why it all happened. It came from the gratitude. It came from me aligning with the frequency of who I'm supposed to be, or who I was meant to be, or who I feel the most lit up being in this world. And I'm stepping more and more into that. And I'm excited that you guys are here to share in the journey. So yeah, if you have any other questions, comments, anything else you want to ask me, please feel free. I really want this to be an open forum where each video I can share and bring more insights. But for now, those are my fun manifestations. I'm going to drop again the link for Mike Dooley's 2 books that I talked about here today, for Dr. Joe's Stories of Transformation, his YouTube. My story already has over 20,000 views and like 2,000 likes. It's not even about the view, like the likes. I don't care. I don't care if I have followers. I truly just want to influence the world in a positive way with sharing the transformation I've had and the work I've done and the things I've found and the secrets I've unlocked, because again, they're not secrets, but you have to choose to believe and step into them. So yeah, I hope that helps. I'll drop his link here. And then again, please tell your friends, family to follow, share this video, share my last video. Again, as I grow, I'm going to eventually share the other $53,000 check. I'm going to share much deeper my story of Ms. Hawaii, how it came to be, some of the fun things that have come out of that, unexpected journeys. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Mahalo, aloha, much love, and have a great week.